What's up, everybody? It's AJ with etrailer.com. Today we're going to be checking out the Malone Downloader J-Style Kayak Character. It's going to attach to your roof rack on your vehicle with clamps or T-track and be able to hold a kayak in the J-Style. So that means it's got this cradle at the bottom and it leans against the back, but you also have this up here to help you load it. So you can lift it up, set it on there, and push it into place. You don't have to just lift it up and over these J's like some other carriers. Let's check it out. Take a closer look at what I'm talking about. This is the loading ramp that I spoke of in the intro. It helps you put the kayak up against it and then slide it up. If you see underneath here would be the normal J-style. That's what they usually look like, so they don't have that loading ramp. It actually does help out quite a bit on those taller vehicles. You just lean on there, know that's on a flat surface, and then push it up and over that hill and it falls into place. The other thing I like on these ramps are the holes to run your straps. So it kind of takes some of the guesswork out of strapping down your kayak. You know exactly where to run it and see what it's going to pull against. When you go pull it tight, you know that it's going to stay on there. Now, not only is this a loading ramp, but the downloader works with the Malone Telos loading assist system. So there's going to be two bars that you hook in here, right in these front tabs. It's going to come down and have two hooks on them. You load up the kayak, you just push up one side at a time until it gets up to here, and you just push it up and over the ramp and into the cradles. Now that comes in a kit, or you can just buy it separately. So if you already have the downloader and you're watching this and you want to get that load assist, you still can. It also holds the kayak really tight. I can shake the whole vehicle this way. I really like J-style when it comes to kayak carriers because they are that secure. You know, they have that cradle that it sits in and that backing is backup. It's not just like the post ones where it just kind of leans up against the post, or the saddle one where it's just straight down, but then that limits your space on the roof. If you look, you could actually get another set of J-style carriers on the other side and carry a second kayak with you too. If you look here on the carrier itself, everywhere it makes contact, there's a soft foam padding. So that means here, down here at the base, and even along the back side, they have the foam strapped onto the bars. That way, your kayak's always protected and you don't have to worry about it getting damaged. You also have protection here against the buckle. It's textured on this side to kind of give it a little bit of a grip, and on this side it's just the smooth side, but it's going to protect this buckle from scratching anything if it was tied down to where it's making contact. With the bow and stern tie-down straps, you got the hook here. The only thing is it's not rubber coated, so we put a shop towel behind it just to protect our hood. Now there's a couple things you can do to keep this from being so close to your hood. We use the hood loop, so it's attached to a bolt underneath there. And it's a little further back here, so we're not getting as much of the strap out as we normally would. You could get the dog bone, put that in there, you'll probably get more loop and it'll be more up here and out of the way. Or you could even reverse this and put the hook up there on the kayak and then do the tie down here. With the kayak unloaded, now we can kind of take a look at the carrier itself. Now first off, I want to show the improvement that they had. It's this handle here. It used to have just like a little bit of a knob that you would pull out to move it back and forth and adjust it, but now it's just that latch. It's nice and easy to throw down there. It doesn't snap back or anything you have to worry about, but I really like that addition to it. Now when it's up in this position, let's talk about some measurements. It's going to add 19.5 inches to the top of your roof bars. When you throw that latch, fold it down in place, it's only going to take up 5 inches. So that saves you quite a bit of clearance on your roof. So if you didn't feel like taking it off of there, you can just leave them on and fold them down when they're not in use. Here at the loading ramp, this is going to be made out of plastic. You got foam protection here on the inside and here. The bars themselves are going to be made out of aluminum, so you don't have to worry about any corrosion because you're going to be putting a kayak that's been in the water up on your roof. You want to make sure it lasts and doesn't damage it. It's not going to cause you any issues. The weight capacity overall is going to be 75 pounds. I mentioned two portions made out of foam. You got a softer foam up on the bars, and down here is more of a dense foam. So it's not going to allow you to push in as much as the foam on the bars on the back, but it's still there to add protection. Seeing how it attaches, it's very simple. You got these wing nuts here that you tighten up after you put the plate right here underneath the bar, and as you tighten these up, it's going to push that plate up against the bottom of your roof bar and hold it there really tight. I can shake the whole car back and forth. You can see it's not going anywhere. There's a little side-to-side movement, but it's not moving at all on that roof rack. We did see in some reviews that there were issues with the clamp system. That you get two different size bolts with it, and some of that was not even long enough for some people. They said they couldn't get the wing nut started, so that's something to keep in mind. check out your roof rack for that. Now there is another option. You could get something that's sold separately, which is the T-track attachment. So then you'll attach that and it'll slide along the top of your bars in the T-track, eliminating that bar underneath, and then the bolts won't be a problem anymore. Now this kit also comes with all the straps you need to tie your kayak down on the roof so you can get going on your adventure. With all that in mind though, it's not that hard to get the downloader installed on your roof rack. It didn't take us much time at all. Follow along and see how we did it. First up, we're going to do a little bit of pre-assembly here on the table. Not that anything's hard, it's just easier to set this down and get that done. So we're going to want to drop these bolts through these parts. So you kind of have to get those up with your fingernail, or the other trick I came up with. You can just put it through the bottom, the bolt, and it pushes it right up like that. So then you drop it back down. Now it fits in those grooves, it matches the head of the bolt, so that way when you go to tighten it down it's not spinning on you, and then you can just push this back over it. All helps it stay in place. And then while we're here, something I found that was made it a little bit easier is just go ahead and get one of these started. So if you look at how you're going to put it on your vehicle, we're going to set it on the roof there. Probably be easier to get the one closest to you. So if it's on the roof and I'm over here, it's going to be hard to get this one, so we'll go ahead and get that one started. Just put our plate on the top and just get a couple turns on it. You don't want to tighten down too much because you don't want it to lift up too much on one side. But just a couple turns, and now we can go to the vehicle. Just go ahead and set it in place. We'll make sure you line up with the other one. We already installed the other one, so we'll get about right here. Looks about the same. I'm going to swing over the clamp on the bottom, and then kind of push up and start screwing in the other hand knob. I'm trying to get out of your way so you can see it, but that's what we got. So you got that much of the bolt to get it on there. That's why I said don't tighten it too much on the other side, because that'll drop that down and make this part harder. But should be good right there. Hold that. Just add our hand knob. There we go. Got that started. Now I'm going to just start to tighten them down evenly. You can even pull this latch. I'll move this up and out of the way. Now with it attached, let's go ahead and bring this up. Make sure you align that with the other one you have installed. Looks good right about there. And just throw this latch. Puts it in place. Now we're going to throw our kayak up there. You can do that by just setting it in place. You actually have the boarding ramps to lean it up against and slide it up there into place. So I got it against the boarding ramps, and I can just push it up like this. See how it stops there? So you can kind of resituate if you need to climb up on the door frame maybe, and make sure this bottom part shifts down into the bottom of the J cradle. But I think I can do it from here. So I'll just push up, just like that, and put it in place. We have our first strap installed. I'm going to show you how we did that. Now the instructions recommend that you put the strap on there before you load the kayak, but in our instance, we had issues with it. The strap kept falling down and kind of became a mess. It would fall down when we get the kayak up there. We tried it a couple times, so we found this method a little bit easier. So I'm going to throw the buckle in the kayak. That way it's not hanging down, it's not going to damage anything, and then I'm just going to throw the rest of the strap over the top. We'll go to the other side. So now I'm going to take my strap. Okay, let's try that again. Now we'll take the strap, run it down through between the kayak and our carrier. Make sure you don't get it twisted. There we go. Then run it back up through the catch, which will keep it from falling back down on you. And then we're going to throw it right back over. Now with the strap back on this side, you're going to see two slots you can put it in. And you're going to go to the one on the inside towards the kayak first, because you're going to run it underneath. Make sure you keep the strap not tangled up or twisted. That looks good there. And then we're going to come back up to this one just like that. With that run through, I can go now add it to the buckle. We'll just push the tab to open it and run through that way. Now we can just pull it tight. This is adding pressure from the top, pushing the kayak down into the J. Now you have the excess strap. You can either tie that up and tie it to the strap itself, or you can just put it inside. So you can just open your door, throw those inside, and then shut the door. That way they're not flapping around on the outside of your vehicle, even if they come loose and you tied them. Now we're going to get the bow and stern tie down set up. You can take the rope, run through the bottom loop of the hook. I'm going to set on the table to kind of show you. We're going to do a figure 8, so we're going to go over this one, underneath this side, so we got the figure 8, and then come back through just like that. Pull it tight. We're going to do it a second time. So that's over, underneath, and then back through. And make sure you pull it real tight. And now you're set up. At the front of the vehicle, we have a couple options of how to tie this part down. So we have a hood loop strap here that we attach to an existing bolt. And that's what we're going to end up using to run our hook through the other way, actually. Like that. That way it keeps it nice and tight when we have the hood shut down. Because otherwise, we don't really have a tow loop on the bottom of our vehicle to attach to. That's another option. So maybe you have a different vehicle, you have a loop or something on the front, you could hook this to that. Or there's even a dog bone option that would be this big foam roller that goes in here with the strap hanging out, kind of like this, except you just slam the hood on it. You can also use it towards the back of the vehicle, but we actually have a hitch, so we just hooked it up to the hitch. This is the hood loop strap from Malone. It's really easy. All we did was take up that bolt, put this right under there, tighten it back down, and now we have a loop that's going to hang outside of our hood to attach that hook to. We put a shop towel behind the hook just because it's not rubber coated and there's not much of that strap hanging out of the hood, so I just didn't want to scratch up this vehicle at all. So we bring the rope up here and we're going to run through the handle on the front of our kayak. Just like that. Pull it nice and tight, and then we're going to start tying it down. All right, back down here, I'm going to pull it tight, and what you want to do is probably come about down here, pinch it, make sure you keep this part tight. So I'm pulling up on this. I can pull back on this to make 2 loops. So this is going to be the first loop, then we'll do the second loop here. Then what we do is run the second loop in front of the first loop, and then bring it back through this loop. Keep it tight like that, and pull up on it again. I'll take the excess and run up through this loop. And make sure you pull up, because that's how these knots are going to work together to pull up that slack. And now with it pretty tight there, I'm going to just tie this off. Here at the back of the vehicle, we did the same thing. We just attached the hook to the bottom of the hitch. You got the safety chain loops here on the side, work as good tie-down points for these hooks. That's about it for the installation. It wasn't too hard getting that kayak up there or tying it down. It can seem like it's a little complicated, but once you do it a couple times, you'll get used to it. Just make sure you check out your vehicle and see what you may need as extras. It does come with everything you need, but just some things that will make life a little bit easier is like the hood loop, or those dog bones on the back. They can just make hooking it up and tying it down and getting on your adventure way quicker. So just look around your vehicle, see if you have those tie-down points, and if you don't, then go ahead and order those to help yourself out. Well, I think that about does it. Thanks for hanging out, and I hope this helped.